The Dopamine Brain, Your Path to Recovery and Joy by Anastasia Hronis explores the crucial role of dopamine in shaping human behavior, motivation, and mental health. The book delves into how dopamine influences our ability to seek rewards, experience pleasure, and form habits, both positive and negative. Hronis challenges the common misconception that dopamine is merely the pleasure chemical, explaining that it is more accurately the motivation chemical that drives us to pursue rewards rather than experience them directly. She emphasizes that while dopamine is essential for learning and survival, excessive stimulation, often from modern-day sources like social media, gambling, and drug use, can lead to addiction and mental health struggles. The book highlights how our brains have evolved to release dopamine in response to natural rewards such as food, social connection, and achievement. However, in today's world, artificial stimuli like fast food, digital entertainment, and substance use hijack this system, creating an imbalance. This overactivation of dopamine pathways can lead to compulsive behaviors, as individuals chase ever-increasing levels of stimulation to achieve the same level of satisfaction. Hronis discusses the phenomenon of dopamine tolerance, where the brain reduces its sensitivity to dopamine after repeated exposure to high-reward stimuli, leading to a cycle of dependence and diminished pleasure from everyday experiences. A significant portion of the book is dedicated to understanding addiction through the lens of dopamine dysfunction. Hronis explains that addiction is not simply a lack of willpower but rather a deeply ingrained neurobiological process where the brain rewires itself to prioritize the substance or behavior over everything else. She examines various forms of addiction, including drug addiction, compulsive gambling, and even excessive social media use, demonstrating how they share common neural mechanisms. The book also explores the impact of dopamine on mental health conditions such as depression, ADHD, and anxiety. Hronis explains how an imbalance in dopamine levels can contribute to these disorders, making individuals more prone to addictive behaviors as a form of self-medication. Hronis provides a practical approach to rebalancing dopamine levels and regaining control over one's behaviors. She introduces strategies such as dopamine fasting, where individuals take intentional breaks from high dopamine activities to reset their reward system. Mindfulness practices, physical exercise, and healthy goal setting are also recommended as ways to naturally boost dopamine in a sustainable manner. By gradually reducing dependence on artificial sources of stimulation and reconnecting with natural, meaningful rewards, individuals can restore their ability to experience genuine joy and motivation. Another critical aspect of the book is the discussion on delayed gratification and its role in long-term happiness. Hronis references psychological studies that show how the ability to delay immediate pleasure in favor of greater future rewards is associated with higher success and well-being. She encourages readers to cultivate habits that promote long-term fulfillment rather than short-lived dopamine spikes. This involves setting meaningful goals, engaging in creative activities, and fostering deep social connections, all of which activate dopamine in a balanced and healthy way. Hronis also examines the role of diet and lifestyle in dopamine regulation. She discusses the importance of nutrition in maintaining healthy dopamine levels, emphasizing foods rich in tyrosine, a precursor to dopamine, such as lean proteins, nuts, and dairy. Sleep and exercise are also highlighted as key factors that influence dopamine production and receptor sensitivity. By making conscious lifestyle choices, individuals can create an environment that supports a well-functioning dopamine system. The book provides case studies and personal anecdotes to illustrate how people have successfully reshaped their dopamine habits. These stories offer hope and practical insight into overcoming addiction, managing cravings, and finding joy in simple, everyday experiences. Hronis stresses that while change is challenging, the brain's neuroplasticity allows individuals to rewire their reward system over time. In addition to individual strategies, the dopamine brain explores societal influences on dopamine-driven behaviors. Hronis critiques how technology companies, food manufacturers, and entertainment industries design products specifically to exploit our dopamine systems, making it difficult to resist compulsive consumption. She calls for a more mindful approach to technology use and consumer choices, advocating for digital detoxes and intentional engagement with media. The book also touches on the intersection of dopamine and personal relationships. Hronis explains how social interactions and bonding release dopamine in a way that fosters connection and emotional well-being. However, unhealthy relationships, such as those involving codependency or toxic attachment, can manipulate dopamine responses in harmful ways. Learning to build fulfilling, balanced relationships is another key component of maintaining a healthy dopamine system. Ultimately, the Dopamine Brain provides a comprehensive guide to understanding and managing dopamine in a way that promotes long-term happiness and well-being. By educating readers on how dopamine functions and offering actionable strategies to restore balance, Hronis empowers individuals to take control of their habits and cultivate a more fulfilling life. The book serves as both an educational resource and a self-help manual, equipping readers with the tools needed to navigate a world filled with dopamine-driven temptations. Through a blend of neuroscience, psychology, and practical advice, Hronis makes complex scientific concepts accessible to a general audience. She encourages readers to approach their behaviors with curiosity and self-compassion, recognizing that change takes time and effort. The book ultimately inspires a shift in mindset, from seeking immediate gratification to building a more sustainable, joy-filled life. In conclusion, The Dopamine Brain is a powerful exploration of how dopamine shapes our thoughts, actions, and emotional well-being. It provides valuable insights into addiction, mental health, and habit formation, while also offering practical tools for achieving balance. Whether struggling with compulsive behaviors or simply looking to optimize happiness and motivation, readers will find this book to be an enlightening and transformative guide to mastering their dopamine-driven desires.